Hey, well, hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to our live lunch with Corina and Karen. Today, February 18th. Welcome, everybody, to the Quest for Truth and East Coast Hub. So good to have you guys on here. Hey, Karen, good to have you here.
Well, yes, it's another lunch date. And look, buckle up, people, because we're getting ready to get down on some serious information. But first, let's go over what's happening. So the reunion's coming up for the Revolution is here. Karina, you can talk about that. That's your baby.
Yes, that's my baby that I launched 5 years ago. 6 years ago, actually. So for all of you guys that were part of the group that was known as Revolution here is here. It was a private group where we gathered people from around the world that had a burning desire to do something regarding the children. They were being made aware of the atrocities that are happening to children, and they felt the call that they wanted to do something. They just did not know what in the world they can do. Like, I'm sure all of us, that either if you were made aware of it years ago or are being made aware right now with the Epstein files, you may be in a situation when you're completely feel paralyzed. Like, I don't know what in the world I can do about it. It's atrocious. I want to stop it. I want to help the children. What do I do? So this is what I did. I took these people, I would mentor them. I taught them on Wednesday nights. And on Friday, we applied what they learned Wednesday nights. So it was just about 4 years that I did this every Friday night between 3 to 6 hours. Yes, 6 hours. And we took care of business, and we saw a lot of results in the natural of what we did in the spirit realm. And I know we're not the only group that did that. But all this to say, I know for all of you, we had 800 members at one time that were part of this revolution is here. You're seeing the results of the prayers, of the tears, of the intercession, of the spiritual warfare that we engaged in for almost 4 years on every Friday night, and you're excited. So we are doing a reunion on the 20th, Friday the 20th, for all of you that were members. So if you're members, please join us and let's celebrate and let's continue to strategize. So, yes.
Yeah. Important. So if you are a member of the Quest for Truth with Corina Pataki on her group on Facebook, you will receive a link to be a part of that. You guys that have were in standing and with Corina on this, so look out for that. It's coming up soon. Next thing is happening is George
Yes.
H. Lewis is coming with us to talk Friday lunchtime.
Yes.
So he's got a lot of information. Corina,
Yes.
you want to share?
Yes. So, because we know that the heavens speak, even the Bible talks about it. The stars, the sun, the moon, the planets, they all speak. They carry a voice. They carry the voice of Creator Source. Now, some were hijacked and they carry another voice. However, the ones that are still echoing the voice of Source um, is speaking about what has been happening right now with the disclosure, with the Epstein file, with the truth that is happening right now regarding the children. Because you guys, I believe if one thing can unite humanity, because there's so much division happening every freaking place. You know, Christians, non-Christians, disclosure community, spiritual community, new age community, whatever. There's so much disunity happening, and that has been a tool from the dark ones from the very beginning. So I believe that one thing that can unite humanity is when they find out the truth of the atrocities that has been happening against the children and the animals also, because the innocent were targeted and have been targeted. So I asked George to come on and speak because he's so knowledgeable and so amazing in the information and the knowledge that he has regarding what the stars, the planets are saying for such a time as this. So George is coming on Friday, and we're going to discuss what is happening up there and how do we see that reflecting here in what we know now, the things that are coming up. And from what Karen said, there's another whole revelation or uncovering of 3 million more disclosure things that were written in the Epstein files. So you guys, please, if you unite for something, let's unite on behalf of the children. If this does not bring us together, you guys, if the truth about the children and I'm getting very passionate about it, does not unite us, then nothing else will. So, anyway, this is what George is going to talk about. And George is one of our speakers that is going to be at the Nashville Disclosure October 16th and 17th, 2026 this year. Karen, you want to share info on that?
Yeah, let's get through these. And hey, this is going to be a good. Drago Reed is coming on scene for the Chronicles of a Super Soldier. Man, he's got a lot of intel, and he's coming out with the details. He's been talking about it, but now he's ready to really come out with some hidden intel that he wants to share. We're talking about Monarch projects.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
talking about all of the stuff. So he's going to come on. Don't miss that show because it's coming up soon and in March. So keep an eye out. We'll have all the information of the shows coming up on The Quest for Truth with Corina Pataki. Everything's there and the time. So we air over Rumble, we air over YouTube and our Facebook pages on the East Coast Hub and on Corina's pages as well for The Quest for Truth with Corina Pataki. So this is going to be a good one, y'all. This is going to be a good one here. All right. Another one. We just got Leo to come on the show, and he's going to be awesome on this. He came from the family of Illuminati, and boy, if you haven't seen him, you are in store for a really dig deep on the Illuminati. His family was part of the royal family. He also, his mother was on the royal family on the Italian side. So, oh man, he's got a
Mhm.
ton,
And what
tons of
and and
stuff.
and the timing of this is beautiful.
Yes,
It could not have been a more perfect timing for us to be able to interview Leo Zagami, because of what he
yes.
brings. It goes parallel with everything that is coming out and more that will come out. So I'm really excited to have him on with us, and that is coming up, Karen.
Yeah, and really with Leo and Drago, with those both coming right at the time where all the rest of the Epstein files were released day before yesterday. So it's all going to blend in because Drago is going to bring in, I would say, the military industrial side of it, where Leo's bringing in the society and the Illuminati families and bloodlines and their connections. So it's really going to be some hot shows coming up. All right. 2026 Disclosure Summit, Nashville, USA. You don't have to go out of the country to check it out. You can stay right here in the US as we have a whole lineup of folks coming. Elena Denon. And yes, Corina is speaking. Everybody's been saying, is Corina going to speak? Yes, she is. She's going to, and George Lewis is going to be there.
Yes.
Jason Westerfield, Tony Rodriguez. And we got Kathy O'Brien coming in the house. Another one. She's been on the scene with Alex yesterday. She's been on a ton of shows. And what better time to have her coming in as these files are just exploding everywhere. And so her story, the transformation of America, if you haven't gotten it, check it out because she's coming to Nashville and she's got tons of intel. And then we have Marvin. How you say it, Karina?
Atudore.
Yes, his geopolitical great stuff on. Well, you explain.
A lot of intel and information on the Buchej. There's a lot of disclosure happening right now. Obviously, right now the focus is on the children, which I'm so grateful for, because we've been praying for that. But also the disclosure that's happening is not only on our, ET family, but also on the true history of humanity. What is the true history? So Marvin is bringing that perspective from the discoveries that were found in Buchej in Romania. Did you know Romania has a sphinx also? If you didn't, yes, it does. And the technology and the holographic chambers that were found there, and everything that it contains that's connected to humanity and our not creation, but our formation. on us being made, shaped, and formed. So he's bringing a lot of intel regarding that, because you guys, everything that we've been taught, either we were taught lies, complete lies, or we were given a little bit of the truth covered up by a whole bunch of lies. So it's time, as I said before, this is the age of apocalypse, which means disclosure. You guys, it's the age of disclosure. So when the age of disclosure is upon us, like now, it's going to shake the very foundation of our belief systems. And then we have a choice. Are we going to hold on to tradition and belief system because that's what feels safe? Or are we going to look at what we're seeing and saying, oh my gosh, as scary as this is for me, I choose to let go of tradition and belief systems based on lies, based on manipulation, based on fear, and grab a hold of what I'm seeing that is truth right now. That's why our show is called The Quest for Truth, because I'm presenting an opportunity for whosoever chooses to engage on your own quest for truth. Because you guys, only truth shall set us free. There's no other way. Only truth, but we have to make a choice for that. So all these amazing speakers that we are having in the Disclosure Summit in Nashville, you guys, are bringing powerful facets and facets of their mandates that they carry inside their DNA for such a time as this, to reveal it to whosoever chooses to engage with the truth. And you guys, I don't know, I'm going here on another jumping because this is what Corina does. You know, there is the movements in the planets right now, and you know, February 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, and so on. And there is a lot of shifting happening, you guys, and we have an opportunity. You can research on your own what's happening, but we have an opportunity to engage in the new timeline or stay in the old one that's based on fear, that's based on control and manipulation. And let me say this very clearly, and then we're going to move on, Karen. I know a lot of people may be like, you know, well, I don't want to know all this stuff because it's too dark, it's too gruesome, I get it. Listen, I get it. I get it that it's too dark. I get it that it's gruesome. I get it that when you see pictures of children being taped up in boxes, when you see pictures of children being raped by animals or videos, when you see animals being raped and tortured, I get it, it's gruesome. Trust me, I know. Because since 2020, when I was made aware of this, when I was leading this Revolutionist here group, I'm telling you, I would drive home after 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours of being not in my house, getting home at 4 or 5 in the morning, and I would scream at the top of my lungs, going, God, what the F is happening? Why is this allowed? Trust me, I had a very hard time, but I had a choice, just like we all have a choice, to look away because it's too gruesome, it's too dark, or to do something with that. Listen, your light is its brightest when you step into the pitch darkness. If you take a little candle or a little flashlight in a room that's lit, lightly lit, that light, that candle, that flashlight will have no effect. But when you take your light, which is inside of you, because you are fractals of divine light, of power, of love, of abilities, and you take it in pitch darkness, guess what? Your little light, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. That's a Christian song. That light is not small. And when you take that light, which you think is small, in the pitch darkness, it's going to break and dispel that darkness. So do you understand? We're not doing the show to glorify the atrocities. Hell no. We're doing the show to bring awareness. And from that point, you guys, what the heck are we going to do about it? There's a strategy that's coming. But if you don't know the truth, how can you then find a solution, find a strategy to bring about an answer to that if you don't know the truth? That's why we have churches on every freaking corner in the United States. And these atrocities have been happening under our watch and even in churches. And listen, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff, Karen, jump on. But I want you to hear me and hear Karen. Look at my eyeballs. We are not going to be talking about people. We are bringing the truth about systems that were utilized by the elite, people on top, to control the rhetoric and humanity. So we are going to be disclosing quite a few things, but hear me. We are not coming against people. We are coming against and revealing systems. And those systems, each one of those systems, like Leo's going to be jumping on and talking when we do the interview, has people at the top. And you know what? I don't believe that those people are human. I believe that those people are reptilians mixed with human. But what I'm saying is, please hear me. This show is not about people. We're not attacking people. We're not coming against people. We're coming against systems. Karen, jump in.
Yeah, I want to say on the 2026 Disclosure Summit coming, you can get your tickets, reserve your spot today by going on the Quest for Truth with Corina Pataki webpage, which I put a link in the comments, and I'll put one down below when the show's over. And also through Ticket Tailor, so it's plenty of places to get your ticket. We got limited seating, and so jump in. We're going to have a great time. There's going to be a lot going on with the speakers, and we got a alien and cowboy dance and karaoke party that's going to be going
Nashville.
on.
It's Nashville. We gotta do some countries. I'm not into
Yeah,
country music and stuff, but hey, it's Nashville. Come on, we're gonna have fun. We're going to end the summit with the celebration where we're going to unify
yeah,
and just have fun, laugh, and enjoy each other. So yeah,
that's right. That's right. Oh gosh, it is going to be fun. But hey, let's start out the show. I want to just remind everybody, this lady right here, Janet Ossebaard, the OG of disclosure that put out the Fall of the Cabal. Hey, when I heard all these Epstein files coming out, she's the first person that I remember who really came out in 2020 during the COVID
yeah,
area,
yeah,
and she brought it in two parts. So let's give her a big hand.
yeah.
She's not
Hero.
here today.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
there's some suspicious on what happened with her, but hey, we got to celebrate her because Janet brought it to the
yeah.
scene first in
Yes,
a big
she did.
time.
She did. She's actually a hero, you guys. This woman right here is a hero. And I can say that I believe she knew very well the position she was putting herself in. And she counted the cost, I'm sure, because anybody that brings disclosure on any level, and her level was very deep, very deep. She counted the cost, and yet she still did it. This was her mandate in this lifetime, and she did it beautifully. And she's a hero in my book. So, saying that now, before we continue, I want to say hi to everybody. I see Dots. Hey, Dots. Mystifying Mark. I see quite a few of you. Thank you so much for joining. Please like and share. When you hop on, please like it. It helps the algorithm of our shows. If you're enjoying this, please share it. And also consider subscribing to the Quest for Truth with Corina Pataki YouTube channel. So let's do this. Let's all just talk about the truth and share your questions or your comments, and we will try to get to them. So, all right, Karen, where are we jumping on?
Yeah.
There's a lot that
Well,
we
we're gonna jump in, and we're gonna start with, because Karina did say we're coming against the system. So a lot of the things that we'll show today is some of the root of what's going on, and it's going to show a lot of the rabbis saying things, but hey, hold on to your seat. It's okay. Just remember, we're not attacking people because it's just like us. Uh, if you see what's going on here and you put everybody in the same bucket, we're not all we're just people,
right, right.
So we're not a part of the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing.
No,
So I don't look at it like we can't broad stroke everybody in that he's
no,
the bad guy, we're the good guys.
right.
And so if we talk about our system, we're not putting everybody in one loophole there. So
Yeah.
hold on, because
Well,
we got a lot of stuff to share.
before we do that, Karen, let me just kind of create a beginning for those of you that really don't know where I started or how or why. Um, when I started being shown about Yahweh, um, the God of the Old Testament, which we as Christians believed, we embraced, believing that that is the Father that Jesus talked about. And I was shown things about it. I couldn't deal with it. As you can imagine, freaked out as a Christian minister, been teaching on this, for years and grew up in it. And then I put it on the shelf and it came back to me. And long story short, I dug, you guys, and I dug deep. And I dug deep for years. I looked at every scripture and every scripture that showed the character of this Yahweh being that we called God, that we thought Jesus addressed him as father. And when I looked at it, I was like, there's no freaking way. Then I looked at what was allowed in the Bible, the sayings of Jesus, even though a lot of them were mistranslated. Best case scenario. Worst case scenario, changed completely. But however, just looking at some of the sayings that Jesus, or everything that basically Jesus was saying, and I put them together, it didn't match. Jesus is all about love, grace, forgiveness, remembering who you are, showing you that the power is not out there. It's not in temples built by human hands. It's within you. The kingdom of God is within you. Jesus addressing the Levitical priests, which were the priests of Yahweh, many times, and saying, no, doesn't Psalm 82, doesn't your scripture say that we are all gods? So there is a lot of things that Jesus said. So when I started looking at both of these things, I'm talking about years. And when I study serious. It did not match. So in 2020, I launched Revolutionist here, the group that I told you guys. And when I was made aware of what these evil ones were doing to the children, the bloodletting, the sacrifice, which you're going to hear from the mouth of rabbis, I looked at the atrocities that they were doing, and I looked at the Old Testament scriptures, and I was like, holy sugar shack. Oh my gosh. This is the same. Who the freak have we been worshiping? And you guys, that is when I chose, counting my cost, to come publicly on the YouTube channel on the quest for truth and bring about the truth about Yahweh. And so what you're seeing here, again, it's a system. When Karen is going to bring these videos up, you guys, it's not a people, it's a system, and it's a system of Yahweh. It's basically Yahwehism, Zionism, and so on and so forth. So this is what you're going to start seeing here. It has nothing to do with individual people. It has to do with systems that were created by these evil entities to control humanity and to continue to do the atrocities that they've done from the get-go. So go ahead, Karen.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking stuff, Corina. And I connected a while back, and I came on board to be a producer, and she introduced this to me. Now, I'm not church, so I took it pretty easily. So, I mean, I've been to church, but I mean, I'm like still open-minded. So I'm like, okay. So it makes sense to me because the way she pointed out, she pulled out scriptures talking about them slamming babies against rocks, going into towns, kill the animals, kill the people, kill the kids. And then Yahweh saying, give me a portion of it. And I'm like, even Satanists do that. Are you sane? And then she goes, I am saying. Now, she's not saying it's Satan, but it's that system.
Yes.
And and it's still going on today. And even with the release of truth coming out, it's still going on. So my question is, now that we know what's going to happen, are these people going to get arrested? Are they going to be tribunal? What's going to happen? Because we can sit here all day and talk about this, but what's really going to happen with these people?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that I'm going to say it's going to come down to the people doing something.
Absolutely. Yeah. You and me, you guys, you and me. And what Karen said about a system, let me make it even more clear. It's a system that has bloodletting, sacrifice in order to be healed, forgiven. It's a system that commanded the people to eat the flesh of their children. It's in there. Read it. It's a system that did not care, had no mercy, kill everything, absolutely everything, from the infant. Yeah, like take them smashing their heads against the walls with joy, with singing. It's a system that required the first fruit. Now, we thought that the first fruit represents bring your first little grapey grape and appley apple and banana to give as an offering. No, because when you really dig deep, the root word for that, and the ancient root word for that, is actually the first thing that comes out of the matrix of the womb. Did you hear me? That is what the first fruit means. Then we have clear scripture in the Bible where a sacrifice, a burnt offering of his daughter. Um, so there is so much. There's so much. So we talk about a system. So I want you to see that system from the ancient world that is written in the first 5 books of the Bible, and the system in the modern world of what's happening right now. What's happening right now with all the sacrifice, the blood, the children. It's a system, you guys. So that's what we're bringing up. Don't
Yeah.
forget, when you jump on, like and share, please. Like and share. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then yeah, and then I brought up the whole fact ago, like, yeah, the Bible's been tampered with a lot. I've been watching some scholars and things talk about this, from the Gnostic Informant to the Myth Vision guy over there, Derek Lambert,
Mhm.
and man, they bring all the scholars on that are talking about this. In fact, they will say that people that go to seminary do know this truth, but they're not going to teach it. Doesn't bring the money through the door. Gosh, I got to get into this church thing.
Go for it. Go for it, because you know what? Jesus did not build the church. So
Yeah,
Jesus did not build a church, and I know we've been lied to. What Jesus actually
yeah,
did, he spoke about love and detachment. He said, like I said, that the kingdom of God is within, infinity is within. And he literally said, do not run to and fro, do not run to worship in buildings made by hands, because the kingdom of God, which means infinity, is within you. Who built the church? Well, Constantine in 315 made Christianity legal. In 324, the Council of Nicaea. Hello, they took out stuff that Jesus said, put stuff in that they wanted. So what started happening was a hierarchy that was being built with control, money, and power. That is the church. I'm so sorry. That is the church. Now, I'm not saying don't gather in gathering and in buildings to fellowship with each other and encourage each other and rejoice and strategize how to save these children. That's not what I'm saying. But when you have somebody controlling you, telling you what you should believe that you're receiving from father, from mother, when it's somebody that tells you, tell me what you're hearing so I can tell you if what you're hearing is correct. I don't feel that is correct. You better be careful because you're being tricked. That right there is bull crap. Bull crap. That's what I'm talking about. Hierarchy, control, power, and wealth. That right there. That is what we're talking about. That is not what Jesus said. Not what Jesus said. Karen, go with the church.
yeah. I really think it's part of the black cube because look, it's a building. It's compacting people in, and the pastor, preacher, reverend, who's ever standing on the front telling you what to believe. The people are indoctrinated. When you bring something different to the table, what's the first thing they say? That's demonic, and they always say it's demonic. But now we're finding out. Well, let's see if you're prophesying and you're telling people a knowledge, but yet if somebody's over here in this arena and they're doing the same thing, it's okay for them to prophesy because they
What is
say,
demonic here?
what is the word that they use, Corina, when they
Clairvoyant.
say,
Clairvoyant. Is that?
well, yeah, but I'm talking about in the church when they say, I feel like the Lord is giving me this word about you.
Channeling? Is that what you're?
Yeah, I mean, it's channeling, it's the
Yeah.
same thing. But
Yeah.
see, the church people go, I feel,
Mm-hmm.
see, they're not really getting a word from the Lord,
Yeah.
which is another topic, the Lord
Mm-hmm.
title. Okay. And then they're telling all the people in their congregation, God's saying this about you, God's saying this about you, blah, 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 blah. And then these people believe it. Then they never see that thing. But uh I mean, people just go in there and they're believing all that stuff. That's within the evangelical realm of things.
Mm-hmm.
So they're indoctrinating people in this thing. It's a cube.
Yeah.
It's a freaking cube, people. Get
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's one thing to fellowship and gather together and
Yeah.
rejoice and strategize when you hear truth that's happening. And let me just say this. Oh, Jesus. Okay, help me. Okay. When you hear truth, you notice I'm moving a lot because I'm just feeling the fire. I'm a fiery person. If you don't like it, I'm so sorry, but this is who I am because I have passion for the truth. So um when you are gathering together, if you do not come up with solutions to help help be an answer to whatever problem and truth that you're seeing, then there's a problem with your meetings. In other words, if I just gather in a building to regurgitate scripture and stay in the safety of my own little four walls, and there's horrors happening outside, and I'm going, la, 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 la. I'm just going to continue to do my little Bible study and my women's group, and I'm just going to continue to go to these conference and this conference and revivals here and there, and I don't, la, 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 la. Something's wrong, because Jesus said that we are to change the world, take dominion, fight for the injustices of the weak, the widow, the child. Fight. You guys, we are supposed to be the answer. You know why there's such a Karen? I've said this before. You know why why the dark ones, the ones operating in the negative energy, are having so much success? For eons. They've been very patient, and they do. They don't blah, 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 blah. They do. We blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna arrange the cosmos, and I'm gonna bring order, and I'm gonna, co-create, and we're doing nothing, because it's this instead of action. This is the year of the fire horse. The fire horse is revolution. The fire horse is action. So you guys, that's what I'm saying. If you meet in a building or in a church, whatever, and you're doing action, that's bravo. But if you just meet to regurgitate scriptures and judge Tom, Dick, and Harry and stay within those walls, there's a problem. There's a problem. There's a problem. America is known as the Christian nation, you guys. There's churches, like I said, on every corner, and atrocities are happening left and right, and are happening in churches. Yeah, you're freaking hearing me. In churches. So this is what we're saying. Please remember, this is the power. This is the temple. This right here. Go within. Get the strategies. You guys, at the end of the show, we're going to look at some strategies that you can do, because I know a lot of you are going, what do I do? What do I do? I'll share with you what you can do. But the answer really is within you. I'm just going to give you some ideas, and then go within and get the answers. Let's go, Karen.
Hey, Corina, what would you say, like, well, people that are in the Christianese zone, but they feel like they are doing something when they're in their little prayer rooms in the church, praying for change, because they feel like that's what they're doing. But then they've been praying for years, and this has been going on for years.
Well, I'm going to be very careful how I answer this. Again, we have to have a lot of wisdom, because these ones, the elite, they have a lot of wisdom, and they don't just take something and just want to bring change. They look at specific arenas and they strategize, and they speak those arenas into existence by action. By action. So when we say that we're just going and we're just praying for change, that means nothing, because we're not going within to kind of really see the truth and look at specific things that need to be changed and deal with a specific thing by bringing the actual change to that specific thing. So we have to be very specific, and this has to be very wisely strategized. And I know that there are churches, so please don't hear me wrong. I know that there are certain leaders and pastors. I don't know of a lot, but I know that there are some. I'm just honest. I'm only speaking from my experience, you guys. Everything I teach is out of what I've experienced and learned. I will never teach or share something that I have not walked out myself. Learned it, walked it, felt it, tasted, seen it. Never. Corina Pataki, hear me, will never do that. So the same thing here. I know there are some pastors, but not a lot, that do this. And the reason I'm saying that is because in 2020, Karen, you know this, when I came out and we were doing what I was doing with Revolutionists here, these people that are from different parts of the world, some of them would spend their 4, 5, 6 a.m. in the morning, 7, 8, and they had children. Yeah, they still spent it. I reached out to my sphere of influence, the leaders that I knew, internationally known leaders, may I add, and I reached out and I said, can you please help? Can we please unite? For at least 24-hour period, can we just unite and just work together? You and your group take this hour from 1 hour or 2 hours, from 9, let's say, to 11, and just cover these children in love, in protection, pray for them, intercede, do something in the spirit realm. And now you and your people do this, and you and your, and for 24 hours. How freaking simple is that? We will have a circle, we will create a dome of protection over these children. Just 24 hours. Can we please do that? Do you know what I was told by every single one of these? It's not my mandate, it's not my call. Yeah, because it doesn't put money in the pockets. I get that. And because you're going to look like an idiot to all your followers. And that brings into question who you are. And that affects the pocket. But there are pastors, few, and leaders that have done this. So if you do this, this is amazing. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what Karen is trying to say. You guys, church is not just for us to go in there and regurgitate crap. It's for us to strategize. A war room, strategy. Gather the intel, be specific, be the change that you desire to be in a specific area, and do it. I hope that answers.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, in the church, it's called intercessory prayer. It goes on and on and on, and then you're not seeing the change. But like in your group, you did do the meditation, and I'm going to say y'all remote viewed
Oh yeah,
because you could see the children in the tunnel,
yep,
and then your part is coming out to the public and speaking on the atrocities,
yep, oh,
and
yep,
not we can't all go into the tunnel and grab them,
yeah,
out,
yeah,
but you can always contact leaders or people
mhm,
and try to get them in, like she was, just talking about,
mhm.
and making things known, being a voice,
Yes,
and just keep
yes,
on pounding
yep,
till
yep,
they get a
yes,
hold of the right people who really know how
yeah.
to get in these
And
places. So,
and Karen, as you brought this point up, so I'm just gonna go jump on the,
yeah.
because you already brought the point up. What do you do? And basically, let me just say what you described, remote viewing. That's basically what we did. We went in through the spirit realm, we engaged, and we really saw what was happening in certain parts of the world, underground, under the ocean, under castles, and we dealt with each situation specifically. We had teams, a team that had a leader that went under the tunnels in a specific area, another one that went under the ocean, another one that went on a specific castle area. And we engaged you guys with the elemental beings. Come on, don't freak out on me, beautiful, beautiful, my beautiful Christians. Come on, come on. Because there are beings out there that are just waiting for us to engage with them so they can come along and help us, not do it for us. It's not going to be done. To come along and do it with us. So now you're looking and you're going, what can I do? Very simple. I'm going to talk about it a little bit later also, but very simple. Can you envision one child, 10 children? And can you envision yourself? You don't have to envision them in a traumatic way. I get it. But just see your love pouring out of your heart and encapsulating them in a bubble of protection. Because love is the most powerful force that there is for protection and for creation, just like fear is on the other end. So if all you do is take 1 hour out of your day, 1 hour, you shut everything down, you go in your room, you create that space, a quiet space where you're not interrupted, and you focus on the children and the love and the animals that you have, and see that love pouring out over them and protecting them, then let me tell you something. You have done something great. That is how we begin to be the answer that these children have been praying for. It's really not a huge deal, you guys. It's not all this. You don't have to do what we did. But if you can take 1 hour a day, start with 30 minutes. Start with 15 minutes. And be very determined in your focus on the child and let your love cover them. Let me tell you, you just shifted that timeline for that child. Simple. So go ahead, Karen.
Yep. So there we go. There's one way of doing it. Like I said, it's also, if you want to be proactive, start connecting with leaders and good politicians, that are really against all this, that will really want to do something, even though right now it doesn't seem like many of them are.
Yeah.
But somebody out there, like you have the great Tennessee person there, Tim, Tim, and he's
Yeah.
there, and
Oh
yeah,
yeah. The big one.
Tim Burchett,
Yeah.
and he's been talking about this. So hey, that's what we can do. So
Yep.
y'all ready to see a film? So y'all ready to buckle up?
Some truth here. Let's, this is not just
Yeah,
Karina here and talking crap. This
yeah,
is truth. And again, we're showing you systems, okay? Systems that
yeah,
are led and maneuvered by the puppet masters that are at
yes.
the top. It's a system. That's what we're bringing disclosure. Go ahead, Karen.
Okay. All right, let's look at this.
רואה אבס בחלום, יצפה לחוכמם, שנאמר חוכמות בחוץ תרונה, למה? כי אבז מצפצף ומקרקר בקול רם. והבא עליה, וראש ישיבה. אמר רב אשי, אני ראיתיה ובאתי עליה, וסליקית לגדולה, ואני עליתי נהייתי ראש ישיבה במטה מחסיה.
Wow.
System, you guys, a system. A system that's an ancient system. Very ancient system that's connected to some dark wannabe gods, entities, beings, that system is still weaving through until today. That's a system right there that is being taught.
Yep.
That's a system, you guys.
All right, let's go for number 2.
גדול הבעל הקטנה, בוא נגיד ככה, ולא כלום. כי מה זה קטנה לצורך העניין הזה? פחות מבת 3.
Listen.
הבתולים שלה חוזרים מאליהם. לכן גדול הבעל הקטנה זה לא כלום, זה לא נחשב לביאה. ופחות מכאן, פחות מגיל 3, כנותן אצבע בעין דמי. כמו שאמרנו, אתה נותן אצבע בעין, זולגת דמעה. אבל אחרי זה העין מתבהרת, ודמעה אחרת מחליפה אותה. אותו דבר עם הבתולים של פחות מבת 3.
Do you understand now? Well, maybe you don't, so let me just say it. And I believe, oh my gosh, I think Numbers 31, it describes how Yahweh sent the Israelites to war against the Ite nations. And he said, kill and plunder everything, but bring to me, kill everything. Every woman that has known a man, every child, every baby, every animal, kill. Take all their wealth. Bring them here. But bring 6,000 virgins, young virgins. Listen, young virgins. That's in the Bible, by the way. And when you look at the word young virgin, again, you look at the root word, and then that root word can send you to an ancient root word. And then that may have another ancient root word. So do you understand? This is how you study. Well, that root word is young girls. So a virgin is considered a girl that has not had her period yet. Because the moment a girl has her period, and even before that, as you can see from their holy book, the Talmud, he's quoting from the Talmud, and I'll tell you what the Talmud is. Basically, she is to be married off. So when you read young virgin, this is a toddler. Do you freaking hear me? So Yahweh says, bring 6,000 virgins, young virgins. Oh, and bring me 32. Do we freaking see a parallel here between Old Testament scripture? I'm not making this up. Please go research it. And what you just heard. And the Talmud basically is an expensive explanation on the laws of the Torah. The Torah are the first 5 books of the Bible, where you have the laws that were given. Okay, a whole bunch of laws. Hundreds of laws besides the 10 commandments. So the Talmud is basically the expanded one. It's where the rabbis expanded it and explain it, and they weave it in through the lifestyle that they must walk out. This is basically what the Talmud is. So what you heard, both of those, hear me, both of those are from the Talmud. These are rabbis. Again, it's a system, you guys, because not all beautiful Jewish people are like this. Please hear me. don't freaking come to me with anti-Semitic, because I will slap it right back. Because that's been a CIA word that has been just like conspiracy theory. So that we're afraid to speak the truth. And I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not prejudiced against any freaking body. I don't care if you have polka dots. I don't care. I love you all. But I don't love the nasty systems that torture children and animals. That's when I'll put my foot down. So I don't care what you call me. So what you heard these videos are quotes by rabbis from the Talmud and other books that there are holy books to this particular sect and this system. So Karen, show that from the Talmud scriptures.
Yeah, it's a little hard to read.
Okay,
It's
so,
small.
Okay, so even the best of the, remember what Goyim is, right? The Goyim are like us,
Yeah.
right? The
White people, white.
Yeah, like Goyim.
Gentiles.
Yeah. And you know, the word Goyim has been everywhere in the Epstein files, by the way.
Yes.
So this is the Talmud. Even the best Goyim should all be killed. All children of Goyim are animals. Gentile Goyims are not humans, they are beasts. A Jew may violate. Shit. Sorry, did I say that? Oh, I'm sorry. A Jew may violate, but not marry a non-Jewish girl. Gentile Goyim girls are in a state of, what is that? I can't see.
I can't see it.
Hold on, let me grab my glasses. Hold on, guys. I have contacts on, but clearly they're not very good. Okay. Nida, which is filth from birth. So again, Gentile girls are in a state of filth from the birth. A Jew may have sex with a child as long as the child is less than 9 years old. And of course, the other scripture from that's a boy actually, because the boys, they can be 9 years old, but a girl, as you heard, age of 2. If a goy hits a Jew, he must be killed. When a Jew murders a Gentile, there will be no death penalty. If you eat with a goy, it is the same thing as eating with a dog. If a Jew finds an object lost by a Gentile goy, it doesn't have to return it, so go ahead and steal it because it's the whole history. Gentile goys prefer sex with cows. Oh, really? Who has sex with, what was it, geeses? Goose? Jews may use lies to circumvent a goy. And this is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Just 12 verses out of a whole book. Looking at the comments. Yes. It's disgusting. And a lot of you guys, and again, please hear me. Hear Karen. This is a system. Because not every person that comes from that land believes the sugar shack.
Yeah, it's part of the Abrahamic religion. And if you notice, it's very much Islamic tradition, because it was an article just on X today that a Muslim girl, she was like Somalia, was saying that the Muslims, if you have dogs, they want to have them all killed here in America. Okay. And then you see that scripture in the Talmud saying if you eat with a Gentile, it's like eating with a dog. So see the similarities there, even with that one thing. I believe the Bible is really telling you the dirty truth, but it's been inverted and taught in our churches here that all these things were good because these people were bad people. They were a bloodline, so you had to take them all out. That's what we've been taught.
Yeah.
But I think it's really revealing
the opposite.
The bad guys.
Yeah, because what we've been taught, if you're a Christian or you came, you came out of Christianity or that's your background, like my background is Christian, obviously. Then what we were taught when we questioned, And not a lot of people questioned, not vocally, because there was no answer. And the only answer that was given is, well, these were the Ite nations. The Ite, Canaanite, Amorite, Jazite, these Ite nations have to do with their Nephilim bloodline. They're giants. They have that twisted, perverted, nasty, filthy DNA in them, and they had to be wiped off the face of the earth. So that was genocide, and that was accepted, and it's still accepted, unfortunately, because many go, la, 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 no, and they find reasons why they agree with it, and they are okay with the atrocities that are happening. But as you guys can see, if you see, there's parallels from the ancient. The same thread of that system is we find it today in the atrocities that are coming out right now against the children. Like Yahweh sent a famine because his people, unfortunately, who he called my children and also my wife, did not fear him enough and obey him enough. So he sent a famine in the land, and they were dying of starvation, and he commanded them to eat the flesh of their sons and their daughters. Twice this happened. Twice, it's what it has been written down, only twice.
Yeah.
So we have it twice written in the Bible.
Famine,
and then or about cannibalism.
Yeah, and then that's where you get the cannibalism word from, because you got Canaanite, Canaan, the land of Canaan, and they sacrificed children to Baal. That's where you get cannibal from.
And
cannibal.
And Abraham. Come on, you guys. Let's start using our what is the word? Our ability to process information.
Cognitive dissociation.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. The fact, didn't you ever wonder the fact that Isaac was not totally freaking out when he said, Father, I see the wood, I see the fire, I see the altar. Where's the sacrifice? And it says that Isaac realized it. The fact that the men did not freak out and go, have you freaking lost your mind? This is what they do to Baal. They worship humans to Baal. What the hell is wrong with you, Father? Yahweh would never require that. What are you talking about? The fact that it says that he just laid down on the altar shows that they were used to that. Come on, process of elimination. If you cannot dig to find more, which there is a lot more proof about this, what I'm just mentioned now, just use your intellect, the process of elimination. Just kind of look at it and say, what the heck? So you guys, this was happening, and Yahweh was okay with it. Yahweh was okay with it. And that's why Jesus said in, where was it? I wrote it down in John 8. Very clearly, verse 38 through all the way 49, when he was talking to the Sadducees, which were the followers of Yahweh and the priests of Yahweh. They were all mixed. He said, your father is not my father. Because if your father was my father, you would recognize me because I come from my father. Yet your father has been a murderer of humanity from the beginning and a liar. There is no truth in him. Freaking hear me, please. Jesus said this. Jesus said this. Jesus said this. He wasn't saying it to a Muslim, you guys. He was saying it to the Jewish system of that day that embraced Yahweh as their father, as their God. And Jesus was calling out that system in that moment. And you see that system being woven all the way today. And we got to get, you guys, my beautiful Christian family, to a place where we no longer excuse the atrocities because it shakes the very core of our belief system. But we start using critical thinking and looking at the atrocities done in the Old Testament. Stop making excuses, because either we were all created in the image, like we say, like the book of Genesis says, either we were all created. That's what it says. We were created in the image of God, right? Either we're all created that or we're not. So what good father would annihilate one son over another? So anyway, there's so much. There's so much in so many directions that we can go. So anyway, this is from that system that you heard the rabbis talking from that system that was back then and it's still now. Okay, where do we go?
Well, I mean, we were just even questioning like Jesus being on the cross, that whole sacrifice thing, you know, like you were taught in church that he had to do it so you and I would all be saved, right?
Hell,
Redeemed.
yeah,
Really? So
yeah.
if you're made in the image, why does he need to hang on the cross for you and I, right? Family, right? So
Well,
there's a lot of
and of course,
questions.
the answer would be that there was sin that came in. So,
Mm.
what good father, even when you have multiple children, even if one child does shitty stuff, hear me, even if one child causes you a lot of heartache among the other children, are you going to look at your child that has been an angel, that has been really good, and say, I need you to die for the sins of that one? What the heck have we been believing? And it says that God, the Father, turned his head away because there was so much sin on Jesus that was put on him. And it was, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't have the exact scripture in front of me and I don't want anybody coming after me. So please Google the exact scripture. But it says that it was God's good pleasure to sacrifice Jesus. What the heck have we been believing? Do you see the system that I and Karen are trying to point to? It's a system, you guys. So go ahead, Karen.
Yeah, well, let's look at this. And this is interesting that Oprah aired this in 1980. And look what she's been involved in. So check this one out.
Does everyone else think it's a nice Jewish family? From the outside, you appear to be a nice Jewish girl.
Definitely.
And you all are worshiping the devil inside the home?
Right. There's other Jewish families across the country. It's not just my own family.
Really? You don't have to give us the gory details, but what kinds of things went on in the family?
Well, there would be rituals in which babies would be sacrificed, and you would have to,
Whose babies?
There were people who bred babies in our family. No one would know about it. A lot of people were overweight, so you couldn't tell if they were pregnant or not. Or they would supposedly go away for a while and then come back.
Anyway, so you witnessed the sacrifice?
Right. When I was very young, I was forced to participate in that, in which I had to sacrifice an infant.
And the purpose of sacrifice is to what? Is to bring you what? What are you sacrificing for?
For power.
Power.
Wow.
Again, you guys, it's a system because not every person in that people group are like that. Just like not every Christian would agree to the atrocities done and be okay with it. It's a system. Just like not every Muslim, you guys, would want to kill every dog. It's a system. And it depends how awakened you are when you are still in that system. And there are a lot of people that are waking up in every one of the systems that we have been programmed in, because all of us, one way or another, we have all been trapped in a system. I don't care if you call it Christianity, Islam. I don't care if you call it Hinduism, Buddhism. I don't care if you call it spiritualism, if you call it New Age, all of us. Oh, there's not one person that has not been trapped in a system, because this whole planet, you guys, has been built with system imprisonments. Because these evil, they're not spirits, they're beings that have come here that wanted to be worshipped as gods, built their own systems. And they trapped people in their own systems from the get-go. So we're not here pointing our finger to, oh, this system is, no, we all of us were caught in a system one way or another. The question right now is, and the choice that we have to make is, are we going to acknowledge that and come out of that system? And I tell you, when you acknowledge it, it's going to, for me, I cried a lot. I was very angry. I don't know, Karen, you were not as indoctrinated as I was, obviously, but I became a Christian when I was 7 years old. when my family became a Christian before we attempted to escape communist Romania. So that system was very, very strict and religious, the Romanian Pentecostal that I grew up in, and then non-denominational. So when I found out the truth, I was angry. I was so freaking angry. How could I have been fooled? Who the heck have I been worshiping? So I went through a lot of emotions, anger, grieving, a lot of grieving, then back to anger, then back to what do I do? What do I do? Anxiety, panic. What do I do? What do I do? How do I help others? Oh my gosh, my family, I've taught them. I taught my children wrong. Oh my gosh, guilt. So I want to tell you guys all, just so you know, it's a process, and that's okay. That's okay. The most important thing you have to, if you get anything, this is what I want you to get today. It's a choice. It's a choice. What are you going to do with all this disclosure that's coming? Are you going to stay stuck because it's fear, because it's gruesome, because it's dark, because it's tradition, because this is what you were, 10 generations Christian or Buddhist or whatever, or Muslim or Yahwehism or Zionism? It doesn't matter. We have to make a choice, you guys, because we're all evolving. We're all awakening out of our spiritual amnesia. We all have the option and the choice to come out of the imprisonment that had been put on this planet from the very beginning. So go ahead, Karen. What's next?
Yeah, let me share my screen with everyone, so that way we can really, really. Here's one that we wanted to share, and let's play this one.
Oh God, yeah.
Really interesting. I understand it, but I also know
Can
the
you guys hear it?
bloodletting. I know that on your Passover, which isn't mine, that a lot of little children do disappear, and I do know that, and I know a lot of police departments and agencies have been informed, but you're very open. You're very open tonight. I'm very surprised that you're talking about the bloodletting of the little children, that you put their blood in the matzah balls, and that you eat it on sacrifice on Passover.
Well, there was a goyim that wrote a book about it back in the 30s. I forget his name at the moment. But anyway, he wrote the book. People didn't buy the book. People don't want to listen. We've been doing this for thousands and thousands of years, since down to Adam's time. We take the children of our enemy, which is the white race, and we bring them to the basements in the synagogues, where we drain the blood and watch them die there. It's very similar to how we do the sacrifices that we do with the kosher butchering, and so we do that, and then we mix it with the Passover bread, and so we eat the blood of our enemies. And the bodies, we're not cannibals, so what we do is we take those, because we can make some shekels, and we give them to the slaughterhouses, and those are pounds and pounds and pounds of meat that we grind up in the sausage and the hamburger, and that's why we made those the most popular thing, sausage for breakfast and hamburger for lunch. And so all the goyim out here are really eating their children. And even when we say this outright and tell you people, you don't believe it. So that's your problem.
Wow.
Well, and you can listen to that interview. It's a long interview. And of course, I brought it out in 2021 to my members on Revolutionist here, which is now the Quest for Truth Facebook group. And, when I try to share it on Facebook, it like threw me out and blocked me and all that stuff. It's conspiracy theory, which it's interesting, Karen. We don't really hear that phrase thrown around anymore. But it's a long interview, and it's quite gruesome. Like he said, we're telling you, but you refuse to believe. Because if you know this, they believe, the ones that are involved in these systems, that if they put in our face what they do, that there is no karma for them. They don't have to pay karma. Because it's our choice if we're going to be ignorant and stupid and go, la, 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 and not believe it. They did their job. They put it out there, and it's now out of their hands. They feel like they have no more karma to pay because they exposed it. That's why you have movies. Hello, movies. You've had movies, like old movies, Even what's his name, the guy that played in the 10 Commandments, like what in the 50s or 60s, there's a movie about cannibalism or the food, you know, what they're putting in the food as far as human meat.
It's Soylent Green.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Like the dude, you know, whatever his name is, you know, and he played in, you know, the 10 Commandments and other biblical movies. So they've been telling us. So this is what this guy is saying. We've been telling you, but nobody bought the book. Nobody wants to believe us. You guys, I'm telling you. Oh, how do I put this so you hear my heart? Karma is real. I don't care what they believe. Karma is real because Source is a very just and loving energy, father, mother energy. Karma is real. But let me say this with as much love. Oh my gosh. And I hope you guys hear me. And if you don't, I'm sorry. That I have in my heart. And I have a lot of love. That's why I have the passion, because it's love. We are not responsible. I'm talking about in a karmic way for what we do not know. Once we know something and we can do something about it and we choose not to, we're talking about a different kind of karma that we're accumulating. Please hear what I'm telling you. Because if we have the ability to do something to stop an atrocity, I don't care what it is, and we turn our back, we become complacent. We become, no, what's the English word? Not complacent. We become accountable. There's another word for it. In the law, if you are standing next to a person that's killing another person, you had nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. But you're there and you did nothing and you said nothing after the fact. Guess what? Are you going to be charged? Hell to the yes. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now that you're made aware of this, you guys, there's a choice. What are we going to do about it? And again, like I shared with you at the beginning, this is not judgment, so don't hear that. Hear it. You know what? It's your choice to hear it however you want to hear it. I know how I'm speaking it. It is truth. So it's your choice how you're going to receive it. I hope you receive it in love, and I hope you receive it in wisdom and understanding. But like I said at the beginning, it's really not very hard. Pick up the phone and call your representatives, like what Karen said. Can you do that? Of course. Of course you can. If that is what you feel, what I would suggest you do is quiet yourself, go within. Here are your answers, right here, right here. You don't need Tom, Dick, and Harry to tell you. Now, they can encourage you, but really you go within and find out what you need to do from within, because this is where your power is. If you're being led to call your representative, your state representative, whatever, do it. If you're being called to just take 15 minutes a day and see these children and cover them in love, you do that. If you're being called or you feel like to gather with other groups that do this and get more serious, do that. If you're being called to be boots on the ground, I'm telling you, a door will open up for you to do just that. But there are things we can do. Each one of you can do. There's no excuse. There's no excuse, you guys. So it doesn't have to be dramatic. Find out what you need to do and do it. If each and every single one of us, you guys, was to do something, we would stop this.
Yeah. You want to look at one more?
Yeah, let's do one more and then we'll wrap it up.
All right. Let's go.
You, Rabbi Finkelstein, and yours truly, James Wickstrom. You know, we are on two totally opposite sides of this planet, and both of us have two totally different wants and needs and desires against one another, and yet here we are, sitting here tonight live on the Turner Radio Network, discoursing about people, discoursing about things, being honest and truthful, and in telling the truth to the masses. But you know, the masses have a hard time believing anything.
we've done a great brainwashing job on them over the centuries, and especially the last few hundred years. We've just brainwashed them completely. They believe anything we tell them. And, we have a lot of fun around Passover where we steal the children. And, I know you know because I've heard it on your show before. We steal 100 to 300,000 children a year just here in this country. And we drain the blood and we mix it with a Passover bread. And then we throw the bodies into the slaughterhouses that we own. And we grind up all the bodies in the sausage and the hamburger. McDonald's is one of our favorite outlets. And the people, they eat it for breakfast. They eat their children for lunch. And, as Jews, we gotta do what we do. The most important thing to remember between you, Pastor Wickstrom, and me, Rabbi Finkelstein of New York, that we both have two fathers, and so that's why we look at the world in two different ways.
And we know that there's a massive collision that's going to take place between two forces, don't we?
Well, that's what your book says. Our book says that we're going to take over the world.
Well, I look at you.
You're doing a pretty good job right now.
Yes, you've done a pretty good job, but there's quite an awakening coming. And my father, who's not your father, my father Yahweh, who isn't your father, of course, your father is talked about by my father in John 8:44, stating that your father was Satan and that you're the descendant of Cain, who was the first murderer. And you know that's true because you teach it in your synagogue.
Well, that's true, but it's not for you going to know. But right now it's too late. It's over for you like this. So that's why I'm speaking so honestly here, to bring it out into the open so that you can see it for what it is. You've been teaching the people real good, but they don't wake up, do they? You don't get a lot of followers, do they? Because you know why? They're scared of us Jews because they don't want to be called anti-Semites. And they believe that we're the chosen people. And so that's why we can do whatever we want to do and we can get away with it because the white men are cowards. And we go to the synagogue all the time and have some shirts and dance the Hava Nagila.
It's interesting. I've told people for years and years, it's not that you Jews are hiding anything. You're coming right out on television, in the newspapers, on the radio, and you're telling the people exactly what you're going to do before you do it, and they're brain dead.
Well, we did a good job with the public school system. We got you to put all of your children in there. You notice that the Jew doesn't put his children in there. They go to the Hebrew Academy where we teach them the real things, and then they go to the synagogue and they learn the real important things. But we send your kids to the public school. We even have you tax yourself from your property so that you never own your property. And so if you just don't make your property tax, we're going to take your property. You can bet on that. And we have you put your kid in a 12-year babysitting is about all it does because you don't learn anything. And then by that time, the kids, they get to be teenagers, and then we give them the music. Not that we really want to call it music because, that's not music. But they listen to that, and then they want to do what they want to do, and so we sell them drugs, and we make a lot of money off your children. Your children from cradle to grave. All we do is make money off of them. Your cattle, your goyim, the human cattle.
Holy freaking sugar shack. There you go, you guys. There you go. So this rabbi, who you have his real name, it was given, he would be one from the system, like a Zionist or Yahwehism. And it's interesting because clearly the guy that interviewed him did not have the revelation of Yahweh. Have you noticed that when he said, "My father is Yahweh," the rabbi did not, he didn't say anything about it because it's part of the programming. So it's very important. If we don't know, there are two fathers. Absolutely. Fathers. Absolutely. Jesus addressed it. But the good one is not Yahweh. It's the one that this rabbi and the Khazarian mafia are worshiping. This is basically Khazarians. And again, why is the war in Ukraine? And when the war happened, I came out and I spoke publicly, and I was just about crucified. Putin is not bad, you guys. Putin is not bad. He knows what he's doing. There's more to this than what the media is showing you, because Ukraine is the heartbeat and the hub of the Khazarian mafia, the Khazarian Jews. So that's a whole different other subject. But yeah.
And then we talk about the Frankist too, which Leo's going to really dive deep into Frankism, because that's what Epstein was. And that's the current system a lot of them are working through. It started out with the another guy, and then Jacob Franks, that's why it's Frankist, took over it, and he even changed it up some. So
it's a system that grabbed another system, that grabbed another system, and they morphed. Do you understand? That's why it's so confusing. They've tried to make it very confusing, so we will never split the hairs in the reality of the pieces of it. That's why it's like engulfing one system, engulfs and morphs into another and into another. But it's the core, it's the same system. It's the evil one, the evil wannabe God that was an Anunnaki, a reptilian. I mean, simple, plain and simple. So it's a system. Oh my gosh.
You know that, like, the word, I mean, I've talked about this a lot on the show, and anybody that's new here today, did y'all know that the word, like, Christianity was a Roman Empire name so they could label Christians to get their money? And it also means, Christian means, this is a bad one, it means you're ignorant. I mean, when you start looking at the origins of some of these names and how they originated, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah. Just like,
and the same with church. That's an old word that goes back to Kirk, and which Circe was a goddess who would get people drunk. So she holds a goblet, you just put your hold in a goblet, and they would drink from the goblet and get drunk. How many people get drunk in the spirit these days? And then she would magically turn them into animals, and she would eat them.
So that's the root word of the word church.
Church. Yep.
So research it, please, guys. I encourage you, don't just, again, if you've heard me say this, Romanian saying, don't eat everything that flies, because some things could be good, some things can kill you. So when you hear something, do your due diligence and research. Research. So what Karen's talking about, please research. It's there. Yeah. It's there.
You can find it, just like rapture. Rapture's never been in the Bible, but they use it all the time. But it means to rape.
That Jesus is going to come as a thief in the night, right, Karen?
Yeah.
Jesus is coming as a thief in the night and rapture you. And this is when the church is going to be taken away by and by in the sky. And everybody else that is not a Christian is going to go through pure hell. So we're talking about cowards. We're talking about a thief and a rapist.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the root words, you understand, of what we've been taught. I mean, I'm not fabricating anything. This is what I want you to see what Karen just mentioned is a program. It's a system, a programming your brain to believe certain things in a certain way. And when you see the truth of it, it's pretty gruesome what we've been believing and regurgitating that information.
One of the things that I get back when I talk about that, they go, but that's not like our Christian believers. When you bring this to them, they're most of the things that I've heard said, well, our intent is not that. Well, it doesn't matter what your intent is. The words carry frequency.
Well,
even though the words meanings have changed, but the original where it started has impact.
Well, just like your intent may not be to be right there with the person that murders another person. But because you stayed there and you didn't do anything about it, even afterwards, the seed was sown.
Yeah.
So, that's what we need to understand. When you engage with a frequency that is dark, you're feeding yourself out of that frequency. It doesn't matter what your intent is. Because if your intent is really to connect with the true frequency of love, of source, then guess what? Once you realize that the frequency you've been feeding from is dark, you're going to want to get the heck out of that and go and connect to the right frequency. If we're talking about intent of the heart. So just because you're saying, oh, that's not my intent, that wasn't my intent either. My intent was not to worship this evil. My intent was not to agree with these atrocities. My intent was not to agree with genocide. My intent was not to agree with these horrific things. And the moment I realized it, oh my gosh, because my intent was like, oh my God, that is not who I am. That is not what I want. I ran out of it. My intent did not pacify me. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's not your intent. So therefore just continue to stay in here because it's too much change and you just, it's tradition. And everybody in your family was a Christian. It's tradition. Then you know what? That's not really a righteous intent. Then I would check my intent.
Yeah. Now you start getting into when you get like that and you hear truth, you're making an excuse not to accept the truth because your intent's getting in your way now.
Yeah.
So, cognitive dissonance is
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, we don't want to hear it. So, I mean, you guys, I know we brought you quite a few things that are, very wow. And again, the reasoning for it is not to focus on the dark, not to glorify it, heck to the no. I know whatever you focus on, you create. However, again, the only reasoning for us to do this is for you to realize that there is truth, that there is darkness, and for you to realize that, what can break that darkness is your light. Your light. So take that light, go within, figure out what you need to do, and take that light to take it in the dark and annihilate that dark with your light. So you only look at it long enough to see what you're dealing with. Because listen, if you were to go, okay, generals, if there's a war, and they go in the war room and they're like, we don't want to see anything that they're doing. We see nothing, because then we're focusing on the negative. Do you understand how stupid that is? Holy crap. Stupid, stupid, stupid. They have to go in the war room, analyze what the enemy's doing so they can come up with a strategy. They're not going to focus on it and get afraid and create that reality. In other words, they're not what's that word?
It's a tool. It's a tool to awaken.
Yeah, they're not chewing on the reality and now what's that English word? They're not laying on the reality and chewing it. Oh my gosh, I'm afraid. Oh my gosh, what are they going to do? No, that's different. Then you're creating that. You're looking at it long enough to realize what you have to deal with. You leave it, and then you go within and see what part of your light you have to shine in what part of that darkness. That is the only reason war strategists look at what the enemy is doing. They get their plan. So this is what we're doing this, you guys. We're not glorifying it. We're not victimizing anybody. We're literally bringing it out so you can see what your part is, what our part is. So anyway, you guys,
I wanted to kind of say something because my piece is kind of exposing the church on this. And Sean Ryan just put out a piece with a lady he had on for 4 hours that was talking about a church camp. They were actually, she exposed so much of the children being trafficked in the church camps. And one particular one, because her brother went to it and he ended up committing suicide. And so, again, she's come out. And man, she's gotten hammered on this. And just the courts have not even wanted to touch it. And so to me, like, I'm not saying all churches are like this, but in some ways, even the little town church, there's some around me, they're still teaching this system in their own kind of way. Like I've seen them wrap couples up in a Israeli flag and then take their hand and bless them like they're chopping in between the couple. And I'm like, you're wrapping an image of Saturn around these people and call it blessing them. So even in your little corner churches, they're doing these little things that are really crazy town stuff. And then you got these bigger ones that are funneling children through, trafficking children. So I'm telling you, it was a powerful interview that Sean Ryan had on his show. And so it was said that the elite said, if we can't get them here by watching media, if they can't get them here by going to Disneyland, and we can't get them here by them, we're going to design the church to get the ones that this other processes aren't getting. So the church has been established from way back
Oh yeah.
to indoctrinate people into these things, because that's why they're going, like Corina said, they don't want to do things because they're the chosen ones, you know, so they don't want to come against that. And then the Old Testament's all about the patriarchs and these people. I mean, like when you talk about Esther,
Oh, holy crap.
and then we talk about the other day, I pulled up Lot and I saw a AI image of Lot with his 2 daughters. He had sex with his own 2 daughters. Okay. I mean,
So Esther was
I mean,
prostituted as a little girl, as an orphan,
yeah.
by her uncle to one of the most twisted emperors of that time, in order for God, aka Yahweh, to bring favor upon his people. By prostituting. It says that she was about between 12 and 14. So she was taught for 12. Listen, I taught on the decrees of Esther when I was in the church. So I know what I'm talking about. I devoured that story of Esther inside, outside, right side, upside down. So I know what I'm talking about. So they took this little orphan girl, Mordecai, her uncle, pimped her out, basically. And she was 1 year in preparation, soaked in oils of myrrh and frankincense, myrrh, to make her skin so soft without one blemish. A little freaking girl. She had no blemishes on her. None, 0 inch. Pure white. And then 6 months, she was beautified with perfumes and with clothing and with all kinds of beautifying, outwardly beautifying things, so she can be prepared for one night with this twisted emperor that required his wife, by the way, when he threw a party, a long party, required his wife to come naked and dance on the table in front of all the party attendees. And the wife looked at him and said, "You've lost your mind." And because of that, he cast her aside. And now he needed fresh meat among thousands of these women that he already had. He needed a fresh one. And Esther was chosen. She was pimped out by her uncle to this evil, twisted king. Oh, she was taught sexual stuff that would blow this emperor's mind. Do we understand what we're talking about here? And that's how Yahweh showed mercy to his people. So now we celebrate the feast of Esther. Holy crap.
Purnam.
Yeah, we celebrate Purim right now when we all dress like Esther, and we're like, do we even freaking realize what that story's about? This is what we're talking about, guys. Truth shall set you free.
Saved Israel.
Truth shall set you free, but first it will shake the crap out of the foundation based on lies, based on manipulation, based on control. That's what truth does. So it's our choice. Are we going to go with it and walk our quest for truth that will lead us to freedom, or are we going to stay in tradition because we're afraid? So, yeah, I see your comments. Thank you, Charlton Heston. Thank you guys so much. Todd, I see. Yeah. I know Robert Steele. I actually wanted to interview him before they got to him. Very sad. He spoke about all the stuff. I'm sure my viewers, you probably know Robert Steele, a CIA operative, ex-CIA operative, amazing. He talked about a lot of truth that right now is coming out. Yeah, we have a lot of work to do, light workers, a lot of work. Karen, anything else that we need to bring out before?
No, I mean, just you guys stay tuned on the people that we're getting ready to have on. And then we want to reach out to some people like Carrie Cassidy, Michael Jaco, and the Street Patriots, Scott McKay. We're trying to reach out to them and get some shows with them, because there were super soldiers in the program as well. And wow.
Yeah. And remember, you guys, I want to say this again. We are not coming against people. Please hear this. We are coming, exposing the systems and the controllers of the system that are all the way to the top, not this. How we get here to these people is by what we're doing, speaking the truth to awaken them. Because I guarantee you, a lot of these have no clue what's at the top, the system that they are under. So always keep that in mind. Yes, these people are sick. Karina, the fire horse is coming in with the bang, you guys. And I believe it's today, actually, the fire horse. So anyway, you guys, thank you for liking.
Let's just show a clip of what's coming in 2026 so everybody can see everyone's face. Let's play. So that's what's coming to Nashville, and we're super excited, and we'll be excited to see you guys coming there too. Get your tickets today on the Quest for Truth with CorinaPataki.com, and there's also a Ticket Tailor link there in the chat. So we look forward to seeing everybody. Limited seating, guys, 400 seats, and we're going to have a great time.
Yes, and as you saw, Tony Rodriguez is going to be a speaker. I love Tony. His heart is so pure, and he's so amazing on, the things that he's discussing. He helped me when my memories started coming. He was so wonderful and connected with me and kind of helped me, go through some of these memories. So yes, we're happy to have him. And I see a comment here. I'm so glad you're finally connected to Jason Westerfield. Yes, took only 10 years. Only 10 years. But yeah, Jason is going to be amazing. I'm so excited for his how would you say it, Karen, introduction in a new audience. He is definitely a huge, powerful gift and a treasure for humanity.
Todd's right here. People are still stuck on red and blue. Look, left wing, right wing, still on the same bird.
Because they're both involved. Both sides are involved in these atrocities. So it's not red but I get it. That's why it's up to us to remember, wake up the masses, remember, under the pyramid. So yeah. And again, if you guys want to connect with these type of revelation, of course, there's other ways for you to do it, but join us at our Disclosure Summit, where again, some speakers, some you don't know. Some I'm very excited to introduce to all of you guys, like Marvin Atudore, dear friend from Romania. And of course, Jason also is amazing. You guys will love him. So yeah, thank you, Dots. Thank you so much. Thank you all of you guys. Todd, thank you. I've seen so many comments.
Kathy O'Brien is going to be a big one too, I feel like, because yesterday she was on Alex Jones for 2 hours, you guys, 2 hours. And then she was on another talk show, and man, did she just unveil. I mean, she brought a lot of her stuff out of her book that she hasn't normally talk about, because she talks about restoration more now. But man, like, she just really brought out some stuff. I was like, dang, Kathy.
She's coming, you guys. She's coming also. Bloom After Battle. I love that name, actually. Wow. Thank you so much for your comments. I saw your comments. I hear you. And a lot more. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Karen, anything else before we let them go?
No, I think that's it for you guys. We enjoy seeing everybody come on and hanging out with us. We're going to do it again. We're going to have another lunch soon, and stay tuned. Like, we're going to bring on the people that are going to be in Nashville. We're going to have individual shows and may do a panel with them. How about that? And
stay tuned, and please like and share this. That is how, if you're enjoying this, that is how we get this message across, by you, our beautiful audience, liking and sharing what you are partaking of. So thank you guys so much. I so appreciate every single one of you. Thank you, Angie. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for being on with us. We love you. Until next time, you guys stay awakened, do your part, go within, get the strategy, and do it. I don't care if it's 5 minutes a day. Do it. Just do it. All right? We love you. Until next time, Nadia.